So big news in the hedge fund world. SAC Capital this morning told its investors that it had received a Wells notice from the SEC. This raises a whole bunch of questions. We know that the feds have been circling the place. They recently had an insider trading scandal, another one come out.
Right.
Well, how do we view this Wells notice, and what does it mean for investors at SAC?
Right. So it's a notice that the SEC staff at least would recommend an enforcement action being taken. It doesn't mean that action has begun.
Right.
And this is all in relation to this latest trader who's been arrested and charged both in civil and criminal charges over this over trading in Elan and Wyeth stocks a few years back.
But is this the firm, or is it Stevie Cohen?
At this point,
Who is it?
Just the firm.
Okay.
As far as we know, Cohen, there was no Wells notice filed against Cohen or given to Cohen.
And this is just, I mean, if it becomes charges, for now it's civil charges, so
it's basically an invitation to say, look, come on in, talk to us, give us your best shot because we think we have a good case against you.
Right.
Talk us out of it.
So,
Just
but
try it.
here's the big question. Various sort of peripheral figures at SAC have been caught up in this giant insider trading thing. For the most part, investors have not pulled all their money.
And there's about $14 billion.
About $14 billion. A lot of it is Steve Cohen's money and other people who work at the firm. But it's been quite sticky money. You know, there's some funds, the first whisper of a scandal, investors have just run for the exits.
Right.
SAC has a very long record, loyal investors and so on. So that hasn't happened yet. But now they have to be thinking, you know, anybody with a fiduciary responsibility of any kind has to be thinking, well, can I take this risk, even if it's just a risk?
But they can't just pull their money, right?
No,
I mean,
and that's one of the things that's interesting here, right?
Yeah.
It's quarterly liquidity at best, and which means you get your money at the end of every quarter, but you have to ask for it in the middle of every quarter, and that's gone for the fourth quarter now.
Right.
So if anybody was reacting to either the insider trading suit that was filed a couple of weeks or a week ago, or to this Wells notice, the first chance they get, unless Steve Cohen were to say, look, I'm going to make a special dispensation here in case you're concerned. Unless he were to do that, the first chance they get is mid-February to say, I want my money, and they wouldn't get it till March.
Do you think it spooks them more or less that the Wells notice was just given to SAC and not Cohen, or do you think it makes any difference?
I mean, I would... My perception would be he's so synonymous with the fund that maybe it doesn't make much difference at this point.
And it's not like it's a surprise to anyone that the SEC or Justice Department is trying to land Steve Cohen as part of its grand insider trading
any
scandal.
super skittish investor would have gone already.
Right.
Because
this did happen to Phil Falcone, didn't it? Didn't he get a Wells notice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that went to him directly. I think his fund was already in a lot more trouble.
Right. But it was kind of it was the end for him. But there was a whole bunch of stuff leading up to that.
Yeah, and even points on the spectrum long before getting a Wells notice have been at an end for some of these firms. So you know, it's not an unimportant.
All right. Well, we'll look to see what you guys produce on this, and we'll be back with more Breaking Views tomorrow.